Good deal. So I definitely work 9, 10-hour days. I'm an assistant director at an early childhood center. So technology was really kind of the only way that I was going to return to school. I don't always work a 9 to 5. I don't always get off at when I'm supposed to. I get off when my job is done. So technology really has allowed me the ability to go to class when it works for me. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning, if it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, technology has definitely allowed me the ability to attend classes and interact with my professors and get my work done.
As you were making that decision to go back to school, what were some of the biggest concerns that you had about returning to school later in life?
Right. So definitely time. I know for a lot of us, we have families and we have children, and not wanting to take away from my family was huge for me. I recently got married, and so trying to devote time towards planning a wedding and then being at work and having enough time to study, those are huge concerns, and those are very realistic ones. And those are ones that really I kind of had to conquer in order to return to school.
So kind of along those lines, what strategies did you develop that allowed you to balance work and school and home?
Right. So the one thing we know about life is it's never consistent, right? So initially I tried to create this perfect plan. I was going to study on Tuesday and Thursday, and I was going to do my homework on Saturday. And honestly, the easiest strategy that I have found is I always take my homework with me. So if I'm on a plane, if I am at the doctor's office, I take it with me. Having technology, I can just open it up and do it. This past weekend, I was in Ohio, and I got laid over for an extra hour, not even planned for it, but it was fine because I had my laptop. I had the ability to get on. Being prepared to do your homework, even when you're not prepared to do your homework, is probably the biggest piece of advice I can give anybody.
Definitely. Now, I know we may have some current Ashford students on the line as well. Is there anyone on the line that maybe has some strategies that they developed in order to overcome those same challenges that they would be interested in sharing?
Hi, my name is Katrina. I'm a current Ashford student, and I'm an area manager for the company JCPenney. And I would tell you time management is the biggest key to actually put forth what effort that you're striving for, whether it's school, professional, and or personal. Creating a routine. As we know, it takes 30 days to truly create an effective routine. And definitely once you are consistent in that process, I think it helps kind of balance life balances and cycles with your professional and or personal livelihood, and as well as school. As we know, going to school online can be very challenging, and it can be very easy because of the flexibility of, you know, completing your assignment. So I've learned with the online piece to definitely do things, as you mentioned, ahead of time to kind of save myself some time to where I can have more time to plan and or study to make my assignments more effective and everything as far as my life. I'm a mother, so I have to balance their homework as well. So we have a pretty neat homework session that we're able to kind of, you know, the kids are like, oh, mommy, you doing your homework? Yeah, mommy's doing her homework too. So we kind of share that kind of role and responsibility as well.
Thank you, Katrina. I see Francine has joined us. Hi, Francine.
Hi, how is everyone?
Good.
Good.
Would you like to share a little bit about who you are? And then we had just been talking about the strategies that students develop to help balance home and school and work.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm Francine Sweet. I'm from New York originally. I am settled here in Colorado, beautiful mountainous state of Colorado. And like I said, for me coming back to school at this stage of my life, it was a huge step. It was something I knew I wanted to do. The timing was right. Everything about coming back to school was right. And strategies that I had to deal with also was organization. I had to prioritize, rearrange all of that good stuff, because I did a lot of ministry. So that had to take a back seat. And then I was able to set up my schedule around babysitting my grandchildren, running back and forth to doctor's visits or shopping, laundry, just because I'm an everyday stay-at-home mom pretty much at this point. So, and it works really great. It works really great to have good time management, flexibility, and things of that nature. So it seems like I wouldn't have a whole lot to do, but yeah, life has offered me quite a bit.
Thank you, Francine. We had already talked a little bit about the technology piece, but I'll give you just a chance to maybe answer that question. In what ways did technology impact your decision to return to school later in life? Oh,
huge step. Now again, because I am in this generation of learners, I was able to stay at home. As a disabled person, I was able to focus on not traveling back and forth. The whole thing about technology is I was just sitting in my home. I'm able to work the program, work my lessons, as in a relaxed atmosphere. Technology is a big thing. Helped me a lot.
So as you got started with your degree and up to this point, what do you feel has been the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome in the pursuit of your degree?
Just trying to think. The biggest obstacle I had was, I think it's just time. I had, and I do apologize for not being prepared at this point because I had everything pretty much set like I needed to, but the biggest obstacle, I want to say, trying to think now, can't think of it offhand.
Well, while you think about it for a little bit, maybe we'll jump back to Zamora and open it up for her to maybe give us some insight into that.
Okay.
Right. Probably my biggest obstacle would be just when life kind of comes down on you. You have those weeks where everything happens all at the same time and you're needed here and you're needed here. And then it's Thursday and your discussion board is due by midnight. And those have been the biggest obstacles for me. When those life events happen with family, somebody's sick or somebody needs help, just making sure I have the time. And honestly, that pre-planning, being organized has been the lifesaver. Not waiting till the last minute, not waiting till Thursday afternoon to do my reading. That has really what has saved me in the end. I think life itself has been just the biggest obstacle for me.
Yes, I can definitely agree with that. Mm-hmm. It would take realigning priorities and planning. Schedules, calendars become a great part of my of what I use, because I need to be able to organize, the doctor's appointments or when I'm going to do my granny sitting or just different things. It's very important, that I am able to fulfill the things that I want to do. So that's a big one. It's a big step. It's about wanting to be efficient in what you're doing, as Zamora was saying. It's so important, not just to throw anything out there, no matter what it is, and what capacity. It's important that it's done with excellence, with commitment, and with passion. So in order to get it right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So kind of looking, outside of you, what support systems did you develop as an adult student that kind of help you along the way?
The psychology club is something that has been really promoted quite a bit with Ashford. And the psychology club, I was able to go in there and just look and see what people were talking about. Also, LinkedIn I know some of those more so on LinkedIn than I did in the psychology club. So being able to get little comments back and forth, or the encouragement, hang in there, congratulations, it's real important, as far as continuing to inspire and be inspired, because it can get pretty difficult. Facebook is a good one as well, where I can put some of my, I will connect some of my documents, papers that I have put in there, and I get feedback on that. So that's really, really good. And then, of course, my doctors, because they stay on top of me, my health, any stresses, any anxieties I might be dealing with. My teachers, I'm going to tell you, yeah, they're very good communicators, make me feel very relaxed. And if there's anything that they are very approachable. So that has been my greatest support, if I may say that, because it is, it's important that I have that relationship with my instructors and be able to communicate with my classmates. It's all in there, because we get in there, we have questions, we run into problems. And I find it essential to be able to get on there and be able to say, hey, I hope this is helpful. And, just to have that bonding thing going on, in any situation, because we will have different things that occur, when we least expect. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Katrina. I would like to say that a lot of times when it comes to work and or school, celebrating the small wins will help keep you motivated. If you're able to kind of congratulate yourself and be a support for yourself and have grit in the matter, you definitely will surpass and actually keep yourself motivated to an even path to kind of, get a good grade and, flourish in your personal life and professional life. I feel like a lot of sometimes motivation, we have to motivate ourselves, is a big support as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Being your great, like I said, my teachers were my greatest cheerleaders. My family, they're there. I know they're there. I can share my grades with them, and problems, my highs, my lows. I mean, that's so important to be able to do that. Yeah. It's tough.
Zamora, would you like to respond on that one?
Sure. I like a lot of the things that have been said, and I think I use a lot of the systems that have been said. Definitely the teachers at Ashford have been amazing. Even when I think that maybe I didn't do so well on that, or maybe I didn't quite hit it, they're always there to be my cheerleader. I use Facebook as an avenue to celebrate all my small victories. You may not celebrate my victories, but you're going to look at the ones I'm celebrating. So, hey, I completed this paper and I was up all night, but it got done. I tend to celebrate the small things. I do also look at my community, the people around me. Like I said, I work at a center, and there are students around you. There are people who go to school just like you do, and you may not have the same background, you may not have the same major, but we all have the same struggles. We all have those late night study sessions. We all have those times where, oh man, I should have got a better grade on that. Yeah. I have really just kind of reached out to the community around me and said, hey, this is what I'm going through. And I've noticed that when I put myself out there, they start putting themselves out there with me, and they start telling me about what they're going through. And we kind of all support each other. And we've even gotten to the point now, we'll late night call each other. They'll call me at 11 and be like, I know you're up because I know you're doing homework. I'm running out of steam. I need support. So just reaching out to those people around you, the more that I'm always telling people that I'm in school and that I'm working on a master's, it's not for them to congratulate me. It's to be like, hey, I'm here for you if you need me, but I also need you to be here for me. And I think that that's something we can take advantage of more, is just letting people know, you know what, it's okay to be 30 and working on a master's. It's okay to be 60 and working on a bachelor's. We just have to put that out there, and that support system will start to build.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. Putting it out there, like I said, if you need help, you'll get it. If, like I said, the same thing, if you're sick and your doctor doesn't know that you're sick, then you won't get the help that you need. And like you said, I like the way you said you're able to put it out there. Not so much for the congratulations, and I feel the same way, because I want people to know that I'm there for you too. I'm there to be able to help. And then, like I said, by us networking and coming together with the different skills, I mean, we're able to communicate, broaden our communication, broaden our base of those who know us out there, so that when we are out there, then we'll have those same ones that will help push us forward in our future careers as well. But this isn't all for naught. Yes, totally agree.
So what message would you like to give to those who are considering returning to school later in life, or maybe have just started out on that road?
Okay. I would say just do it. Know what it is you want to do. Zamora said it well, you're never too old to learn. Okay. In fact, we have more that we can actually contribute as the adult learner in school, because we have had those experiences. We have something that we have an experience that we've gone through and been involved in. Do it. Know what it is. There is nothing that is worth having, as my mom used to say, is going to be easy, but know what it is. Know that that you can do it. Again, I have to go back to what Zamora said. Encourage yourself. Sometimes you just need to encourage yourself. Make sure you're committed. Be your best cheerleader. Dedicate to your future, because it's gonna mean that's what it's gonna take. Okay, for it to be to be influential once you get out there. Knowing that for the last 6 years I've been able to put my energies in meaningfully, and it's something I enjoy doing, so I'm able to give it back with the same fervor. Like Nike said, just do it. Know that this is what you want to do, and commit to yourself. Commit to your project. Yes.
Thanks, Francine.
You're welcome.
Francine, you're pretty amazing. I would say, I would add to that, there's never going to be a right time. The times that I have gone back to school, the times that I've done well in school, I had all the excuses for why I couldn't do it. And it was, I need to wait until there's a better time, or I need to wait until there's a better time in my schedule. When you think of it and you're like, I'm ready to do this and I'm ready to tackle this, do it. Don't think about it. Don't psych yourself out of it. Just go for it, and the rest of the world will kind of fall into place. There's never a perfect time to go to school. There's never a perfect time. There's never a perfect time in my schedule for homework, but somehow it gets done. Somehow I still manage to check that box. So if you're thinking about it, if you're considering it, if you maybe didn't do so well before, I was not a great student in my 20s. But now in my 30s, I find that I do better. And so that's my advice. It's just, if you're thinking about it, go for it. Just tackle it and do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm right on top of that. Like, know that you're worth it. I have to encourage myself. I have to say, look, I'm worth it today. I put my time in. My children are grown. I mean, I have grandchildren. They all say, oh, Nana, what are you doing? I'm doing my homework. Oh, okay. And we can make a great impression on our children today. Like I said, you're never too old to learn. Life is all about learning, and learning is fun. I've always considered school my escape, and that's a big one. But I got the most out of life as long as I was learning. That was a big deal. So continue to learn every day. Every experience is a learning moment. Yeah, we got something we can offer and give to someone else. And sometimes it's just meant to listen. I learn my most when I'm listening. However, online, we don't hear a whole lot. We feel a whole lot. We interact a whole lot. And that's all part of communication as well. So I get it a lot. I always did love school. So that helps as well.
Well, we have a few more minutes, so we're going to open up the floor if anyone on the line has any questions for our students related to the whole concept of balancing work, life, and school. You can unmute and ask your question, or you can type it in the chat and I'll read it.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, my name is Jennifer and I'm a current student at Ashford. I think my biggest thing, you know, time, like all of us, is what gets in the way, and family priorities. You know, we're all working full time, have family obligations, and I'm just tired, right? I'm tired because I'm up until 2 a.m. every Monday night doing that final assignment. So my question is, what resource through Ashford have you found to be kind of like your best friend to go to that helps you the most completing your assignments?
That's a good question. Jennifer, I find the library, when I'm running into tough questions, I can type in, they have where you can chat with the librarian during the day. You know, put your paper in so they can review and then give you back the feedback you're going to need. I mean, I utilize that library a lot. And like I said, and if necessary, well, if I need extra time, I communicate that to my teacher, and hopefully we can work out a schedule because we do have other things, as you were saying. So don't give up. But plug in, and the library is a huge, huge resource, huge. Okay.
So I'll piggyback a little bit. Two things came to mind when you were talking, Jennifer. One, I've been there. It's Monday night, you've got to get your assignment done, you're beating your head against the wall, and you are struggling with life. I get it. So, this year for me as a student, taking care of myself has been huge. So when I am studying and I'm working on things, every 10 to 15 minutes, I take a 5-minute break. And my 5-minute break is I put on my headphones, I find a song that makes me happy, and I dance like a crazy person around my living room. My dog probably thinks I'm crazy, but it's okay. And when I sit down, I find that I'm more focused. I'm not as stressed out, and I get angry at my homework. Like, I am trying to write this paper by midnight. Why aren't you coming together? It helps me to focus. But I do that systematically every 15 minutes. I set a timer and I keep going back at it. But I give myself the opportunity to be okay. It's okay for myself to not be in that moment. It's okay for me to need to get my wiggles out. It's okay for me to have to step away. The second thing that came to mind as far as resources at Ashford, the Writing Center was a surprise for me. So I had a professor who suggested that we use the Writing Center, and I always kind of shied away from it because I felt like my paper had to be perfect in order for me to turn it in. And what I actually learned is so I do this thing, I kind of was talking about it in the group chat, I frame my papers. So I take all of the input that my professors give me and I put it on a Word document. And I add into each paragraph what is supposed to be there and any ideas off the top of my head. and then I just free write. And what I submit to the Writing Center is actually that. It's not perfect. Sometimes my ideas are a little bit of everywhere, but I find that in that 24 hours that they give me back my paper, I have now come up with more ideas. I also take their ideas, and I'm not struggling as hard to write my papers. So that was definitely a resource at Ashford that was a huge help for me.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, ladies, for all of your insight and wisdom from your experiences that you've shared. If somebody has a last quick question, we might have time just for one last question. Okay, well, I think that will wrap up our panel for today. Thank you all so much for participating.
Thanks for having us.
Have an excellent day.
Have a great one, everybody. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.